Thank you. So as we have started last week, we have started the process of revising our 5 weeks of Bhakti Vriksha classes. So because I was realizing that not many people are able to remember the concepts. So that's why, so did any of you get a chance to see the recording and try to understand the concepts? Was there anybody who watched the recording? YouTube?
Mataji, some of them are saying they tried and watched a little bit of it.
Okay, so because it is very important to understand this concept, because every time if I'm saying
it is on YouTube, Mataji.
It's on YouTube. Yes,
Is
it's on
that,
YouTube.
Sometimes the view actually, to ensure that the interpreter screen is spotlighted. Some of the videos.
But not now. There was a problem earlier.
He says last week and last week. He says that some other bhakts are also saying, Mataji, that the interpreter was, you know what happens, like right top corner, the interpreter was visible, but they wanted to be
have the speaker view.
Yeah, yes, so that view thing has to be checked.
So Acharya Prabhu, if you are there, if you can kindly record it only in the speaker view. It was due to PPT. He was saying it was due to PPT. But we don't speak when PPT is on. When the PPT is stopped sharing, then only Saurav speaks.
Yes, Mataji, when PPTs are shown, then Saurav Prabhu goes to right hand side and PPTs are highlighted on the screen. PPT is not there, then Saurav Prabhu can be highlighted. So while PPTs are shown, like we can have a practice that we don't say anything.
Yeah, I think that's even Saurav's offense. I think he's trying to explain it to them.
I asked Ganesh Prabhu, says that there were some videos where the speaker view was not there. It was the gallery.
Maybe sometime, long time back when we were not aware of it. But recently, I think, Acharya Prabhu, I think you're taking care while recording. It's in the speaker view. Yeah. So we are very sure, even Saurav is very sure that when PPT is being shared, he does not translate at that time. Only when PPT is stopped sharing, then only Saurav starts speaking. Right? So anyways, we are taking care of all those things. So in the last class, we understood the meaning of our Bhakti Vriksha, that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the tree of the Bhakti, or the tree of devotion. And we all are branches and the stems or the leaves or the flowers. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants that all of us should chant and all of us should preach. And when we start doing, in a way, we are helping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his mission. So what is Mahaprabhu's mission? His mission is that in every town and village, the names of Krishna should be chanted and everybody should become Krishna conscious. He also understood that Kali Yuga is a very difficult age, and the only way that we can stop this cycle of death, birth and death is by chanting the names of Krishna. Right? And we have got this human body. We are very lucky that we have got this human body, because only in this human body we can try to understand God. Animals cannot understand God, right? Only human beings can do. So we are very fortunate that we have got this birth and we can in this birth, we can make our life successful. And also we understood that Krishna is the root. So instead of worshipping all the Devi Devatas, who are like 33 crores Devi Devata are there. So if only we worship Krishna, that is sufficient. Because if we make Krishna happy, then all the other Devi Devtas will automatically be happy. So Krishna is the root of the tree. And we are actually servants of Krishna. Why? Because we are anyways also serving somebody or the other in our life. We are serving a family or country or society. So anyways, our duty is to serve. So best way to serve is how to make the entire society, entire human being happy is by serving Krishna. So if Krishna is happy, then everybody around us will automatically be happy. So let's move on to week 2. What we learned in week 2. So in week 2, we will be understanding who is Pancho Tatwa. So in the beginning of the class, you understand that we are all, chanting the Pancho Tatwa mantra. So in the Pancho Tatwa, in the center, we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And on his left, on our left, when we look at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his left side is Balaram or Nityanand. Then the person with the white beard is Advaithacharya. Then on the right of
Mataji, Balaram's extreme left is
yeah, just next to Mahaprabhu is left, because when you're seeing it, look mirror image, right?
No, I'm asking on the left, as you said, Balaram first. So who's the second, or you went the other side?
I went to the left side first.
So left side first, Balaram or Nityanand?
Then Advait, that Advait.
Advait, that's what I was. Thank you.
Balaram and Nityanand the same. You want me to share the picture?
No, Mataji, I was just wanting to understand. That's
People are aware. Is there any new person who want to learn?
Mataji, I suggest that once you explain all 5, you can then display the picture. No?
Okay. Right. So on the rights of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Gadadhar. And next to Gadadhar is Shrivas. So here we had a look at the, while we were chanting, you would have seen there were some images which came. So these are actually the Panchatattva from Mayapur. So I'll just share the picture and explain. So the center one in yellow dress is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Have a look again. Right. Now on the blue, in a blue dress on the left side is Nityanand. Have a look again. Now the one in white beard and white dress is Advait. He's an old person, and I don't know if how many of you remember Advaithacharya is the one who had meditated, who did very strong tapasya, and he is the one who called Krishna, that please come down in Kali Yuga. And on his request, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu incarnated. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took birth. Krishna took birth in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So on the request of Advaithacharya. So this person who is in white beard is Advaithacharya. Have a look again. So this one on white beard is the one who did lot of tapasya, who did lot of sadhana, and he requested with a strong heart that please Krishna come down, and that's how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took birth in Kali Yuga and gave us this Mahamantra. Next on the other side, the right side is Gadadhar. And Gadadhar is actually also known as the other birth of Srimati Radharani. So red dress is Gadadhar Pandit. So the red dress is Gadadhar Pandit. Have a look again. So I'm moving my arrows for they are able to see, right?
Mataji, I told them the color, no? Red, that helps.
Okay. Then last on the extreme right side is Srinivas. So how we chant the Panchtatva? Shrivas, Adi, Gaur, Bhaktivinda, Shrivas. So Shrivas is extreme right, and he is supposed to be incarnation of Narad Muni. Right, so is everybody clear now? Who's who in Panchatattva? Because every week, every day when we are chanting the Maha Mantra, at that time, first of all, we recite the Panchatattva mantra. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advait Gadadhara, Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. So every day, we are chanting the Panchatattva mantra. So this is the Panchatattva, right? So now let us understand what is the reason we chant the Panchatattva mantra. So Panchatattva is supposed to be very,
Mataji,
very
1 minute, there's a question. Yeah. Ganesh Prabhu is here. So Gadadhara, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, isn't he supposed to have both Krishna and
correct.
Radha?
He's supposed to be, he's
Mataji, 1 minute. The person on the left, like you're saying, Gadadhara, is Gopal. That was his question.
No, Gadadhar is actually manifestation of Radharani. So no need to be confused because see, Krishna can manifest in so many forms. When we talk about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is a combined form of Radha and Krishna. But at the same time, Radharani also wanted to participate in this Leela. When Mahaprabhu came, when Krishna came, so Radharani also wanted to come with him in this Leela. You know how our friends will say, I also want to go with you to look at this movie. I also want to come with you to enjoy. Similarly, Radharani also wanted to take part in this Leela. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. So that is why she also came now. Otherwise, Mahaprabhu is a combined form of Radha and Krishna both. So don't get confused in both of them. Both are separate things. Right? So now let's move on to why we are chanting the Panchatattva. We are chanting Panchatattva because Panchatattva is very, very merciful.
Vaishali has raised her hand, Mataji.
So are we taking questions now?
Something very small, Mataji. She says that Gadadhara is a male or a female, Mataji?
Male.
Oh, okay, Mataji.
See, in spiritual world, there is no male and female. In Krishna Loka, there is no male and female. And they are so powerful. Krishna and his associates, Krishna and his friends, they are all so powerful that they can take any form. They can come in the form of a male, they can come in the form of a female. Right? Is that okay? So we are saying that Panchatattva is very merciful. They are very kind-hearted. And because of their mercy, only we can understand Krishna and how to love Krishna. And that is why before we start chanting, we recite Panchatattva mantra. Because many times we commit many mistakes while chanting, like we are chanting and we are thinking of somebody else, or we are doing some errors, some mistakes. So if we chant Panchatattva mantra before chanting, then the Panchatattva forgives our mistakes. And they give mercy very fast. Like, they're very kind-hearted. They're more kind-hearted than even Krishna. So as we understood that in Kali Yuga, people are very sinful, their life is very short. What I'm trying to say short is, what is the average age of people nowadays who are living? 70 years, 80 years, or max to max 90 years. So when we are talking, comparing it to people in earlier yugas or previous time, olden times, people would live for 500 years, 600 years. The sages who used to do tapasya would live even for 1,000 years. So as compared to that, when we look at our life, we are living for a very short time. We are just living for 70, 80, 90 years. So if somebody lives for 90 years, people will say, oh, he had a very long life. But when we compare to previous ages, previous yugas, then this Kali Yuga is a very short lifetime. So that is why, and then people are very sinful and they are disturbed. As you all can, I think, relate to what I'm saying, that everybody nowadays is so disturbed in life. Small things, our body is not well, there is tension, there is so much of crime, there is so much of violence, war is happening, and murders are happening, rapes are happening. So much of unrest is there in society. Otherwise, even people, their understanding about God, people are not interested in knowing about God, and they are very slow in understanding about God. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this Kali Yuga, especially in this Kali Yuga, advises a very easy process. Do you remember we had understood that how in previous Yuga people could, attain liberation through very elaborate temple worship or very elaborate puja or havan or homa. But in this yuga, we cannot do all those things because one, our life is very short. We are not very intelligent. So that is why Krishna has given Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us a very, very simple process of how to break this cycle of birth and death. And that process is chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So what is this Mahamantra? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Right? So this is the mantra. Now, what is the meaning of this mantra? The meaning of this mantra is that in this mantra, actually, we are calling out the name of Radha. So Hare, when we say Hare, is actually another meaning of Hara. So Hara means Radharani. We are addressing Srimati Radharani and we are requesting her that please, if you think I'm a good person, I'm chanting the name of Krishna, then can you connect me to Krishna? Can you please request that Krishna takes mercy upon me? And if you recommend my case, like I had given in the class, I had given the example that how when we want to meet the Prime Minister, we approach a very close minister who's somebody who's very close to that Prime Minister. So when we approach, then the process becomes very easy. So if we want to approach the Prime Minister, we will approach some very confidential minister who is very close to that Prime Minister. Understand? Then our meeting with Prime Minister will become very easy. If you want to meet the principal of a school, so whom do you approach? We approach the secretary, right? We approach principal, secretary. Because if we know we are able to convince secretary, then we can very easily meet the principal. Similarly, Radharani is very, very close to Krishna. She is topmost devotee of Krishna. So if we want to take mercy, if we want that Krishna should take mercy on us, then we approach Radharani. So in this mantra, in this Hare Krishna mantra, we are actually calling out Srimati Radharani that, oh Radharani, please, if you can request Krishna, so that please engage me in your service. Service means please give me some way that I can serve Krishna. And how are we serving Krishna? Like all of you made sketches of Jagannath. All of you offered bhoga to Jagannath in Rath Yatra. All of you are chanting. Some of you, like Kavita and Vijaya and Kala, they got an opportunity to come to the temple also and do some service and do book distribution. You distribute book, and even if not that much, when you inspire other people, like Nandini is there. Nandini was sitting in her school and she was asking children to make sketches of Lord Jagannath. So that is a service to Krishna. Don't have to do something really big. On our small effort also we can serve Krishna. Suppose today you make a big vessel of some rice, say or you make some khichdi or some biryani you make today and you offer it to Lord. So after Lord has eaten, suppose you go down and you put all that biryani in small parcels and you go out and distribute it to beggars in the street. So you are doing a service to Krishna. Why? Because you are distributing prasad to people who have no way that they can get prasad. So that is another way you can serve. So there are thousands of ways you can serve Krishna. People who are going to office, you can inspire them to chant, or you can inspire them to read Bhagavad Gita. You can inspire them to come and join this class. So when we are chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, at that time, we are requesting Radharani that please engage me in your service. So if we are chanting with a very pure heart, then Radharani takes mercy on us and she recommends our case to Krishna that, oh Krishna, look, he or she is such a nice devotee. Can you please take mercy? So with Krishna's mercy, because Radharani is recommending, so Krishna agrees, and then he gives us many opportunities to do service. Okay, so tomorrow, if all of you will want to go out and preach, like after 1 year, 2 years, maybe I'm not there, and all of you become big devotees and you get Diksha also. So at that time, when you start inspiring, when you start preaching to other people, then that is a service to Krishna. That is the meaning of how we serve Krishna. Now Janmashtami is coming. So anybody who's living close to the temple, anybody who has ISKCON temple, I can connect you to that temple, and you can go during Janmashtami time and do some service there. Next month we have Janmashtami coming. So that way we are praying to Radharani. That is why praying, chanting is so very important. Not only it removes our sin, but at the same time it also engages us in service of Krishna. So are you able to understand what is the importance of service and why we chant? When we chant, we are requesting Radharani to please ask Krishna to look at me and engage me in some service. Okay, so is it clear? Is this point is clear?
Yes, Mataji.
So what will happen when we start chanting? What is the change which is happening inside me? So we have, as many classes we are discussing that this is not the first time I have taken birth. Many times I have taken birth in this world. Sometimes as a man, sometimes as a woman, sometimes as an animal, sometimes as an insect. Okay, and we have committed lots and lots of sins. So when we are chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then all these sins will be removed. Now, something very important to remember is there are many other mantras also of different devtas. But chanting those mantras will not remove your sins. They will give you something like you can get a nice job or a nice office or a nice beautiful wife or a husband. You can have good health. But when we're talking about removing our past sins, then only and only Krishna can do that. Only Krishna can remove, break the cycle of birth and death. You are coming, taking this birth, then growing up, then dying, again going into another body and taking birth. So again and again you're doing this cycle, this process, only Krishna can break. How? When we are chanting, he removes our sins, and when our sins are removed, then we don't come back again in this material world. We are permanently living with Krishna in his beautiful home. Is it clear? That is what chanting does to our heart. It cleanses. It is actually chanting, the mantra is like a piece of cloth or like a broom. It cleanses the dust. It cleanses the, all that dirt which is lying in our heart of previous sins, and it makes us pure. So actually we can, we can worship God in so many ways, but chanting is the easiest and it is the fastest work. And because, we have done so many good deeds, that is why we have got this human body. You should not think, oh God, God has not given me the hearing power. Why am I born deaf? But see, try and understand that we have done some karmas. That is why God has not given you this. But then God, at the same time, you should see that how blessed you are that all of you are connected, and you are trying to understand Krishna even though you do not have the hearing power. So you must have done some very good deeds. You must have done some very good karmas in your previous birth. That in this life, there's so many hearing people who don't want to understand about Krishna, who don't want to understand about who is Supreme God. The hearing people I'm talking about, they don't want to understand. They don't want to do any spirit bhakti. They don't want to chant. But you all are so blessed. So you would have done definitely some very good karma to do this. So talking about, what all we did in the past life, will come back to me. So if I've done something good, previous life, I will have a good birth. What do you mean by good birth? I will be rich. Maybe I will be having a nice house, nice children. And when I have done some bad deeds in previous birth, I'll have some very bad disease. Maybe I'm born very poor. The people I meet, always I will meet wrong kind of people who will cheat me. So you can see it around you. Somebody who's lying on the street, who's a beggar, you can understand that maybe, yes, definitely he would have done some very bad karmas in his previous life. And when we think like that yes, this, I am getting this goodness because I have done some good karma. And when I'm suffering, I have done something, that's why, I'm getting this bad reaction. So when it happens like this, our heart becomes peaceful. How? Because then we are not struggling. We are not thinking that, oh my God, why God is doing this thing to me? God is not very fair. Why is he treating me like this? My XYZ friend, he is such a bad person, but then they are living a happy life. So at that time, you can realize that, yes, I would have done something really bad. And my friend who's bad now would have done something very good. So is it understandable that, whatever we are getting is only because of what we have done in our previous birth. So some examples of bad karma is that eating non-vegetarian food, or violence, talking bad about other people, when we are very rude, or when we are telling lies, anger, greed. Then we have gambling, we drink alcohol, we have a lot of ego. So these are all the bad things which will give you bad karmas. And what are good karmas? Like eating vegetarian food, very generous, giving charity. You should have control. Like, if you want to be angry, you are having control on yourself, then you should speak truth. You should have a simple life. You should forgive people if they have done something bad to you. Don't take revenge. Just forgive that person. You should be clean. You should be religious. So all these things comes under the category of good karma. So when you do all these things, then you will get good reaction, whether in this life or in life afterwards. So now the question which many of you might ask, how can I change my karma? How can I change? So simple thing is, we can change by karma only by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And when we take up this process of when we become Krishna conscious, not only it changes our karma, it also connects us to Krishna, and Krishna slowly will purify us. He will remove all sinful reaction, and slowly, even if not in next life, in some life you will break the cycle of birth and death. And the other thing is that suppose you're not completed your bhakti process. Suppose in this life you're not able to chant many rounds, maybe just 2 rounds or 3 rounds. So Krishna remembers, he has a proper register. He remembers all those things. So when you die and when you take a next birth, in your next birth, you begin from where you left. What I mean to say is, suppose you are going to school and college, and even you become, you do PhD and you're very, very highly qualified. But when you die and you take a next birth, in your next birth, you begin from A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And 0, 1, 2, 3 is where you begin from. You have to start from nursery. But when we're talking about bhakti, when we're talking about Krishna consciousness, whatever balance you have, whatever you have, good things you have done about, serving Krishna or chanting, that is carried forward in the next birth. It is like your fixed deposit. It does not finish with death. Whereas whatever knowledge you have gained in this material world, you are going to college or school or whatever high qualification you have done, that will all be zero in the next birth. But when you're talking about bhakti, when we are talking about doing anything for Krishna, serving Krishna, Krishna remembers, and he makes it a parcel, and that parcel comes along with us in the next birth. So that is why it is said that there is no loss in spiritual life. Even if you make very little advancement in Krishna consciousness, there is no loss. And above all, you will be protected from greatest type of fear. Please note it, this is very important. If you do little bhakti, Krishna not only forwards that in your next birth, but you will be protected from greatest type of fear. Now, what is the greatest type of fear? You will not land up into an animal species in the next birth. Otherwise, there is no guarantee that we should not be proud that, oh, look at this dog, look at this cat, and look at this goat. So many people who kill and eat for their enjoyment. But, there's good enough chances of people who are eating non-vegetarian food that they might end up becoming an animal. Because when we kill animal, the next birth, we should be prepared that animal will kill us and eat. But when we are Krishna conscious, when we are chanting Krishna's name, then Krishna assures us that at least you will not get an animal body in the next birth. You will get a human body, and in that human body, you can continue your bhakti even in your next birth. Okay, so don't think whatever we are spending 1 hour here and daily I'm chanting 2 rounds, 3 rounds, such a time waste. No, it is not time waste, because Krishna is keeping a record of all those things. And when Krishna is recording means, he will make sure that you will not become an animal in next life. But if we continue our sinful activities, like I'm sure people who are present here, they're not sinful, because you are attending classes, you are observing Ekadashi, you are chanting. But there are people who are very, very sinful. For them, there is no protection. They can very easily become animal in the next life. So try and understand that human life is very, very, priceless. It is very, very precious. And we must take care. Even if you cannot hear, not a problem. You all have the opportunity to connect with Krishna. How? By chanting. Even if tomorrow nobody is taking your class, don't worry. You continue your chanting. Don't stop your chanting, because that is the only way you will be connected to Krishna. Okay, so make sure that no matter what happens, two things you never stop. One is chanting, and two is keeping Ekadashi fast. Because eating grains on Ekadashi is a very big sin. So it's a very simple process. All we need to do is just chant Krishna's name or keep 2 fast in a month. And whatever opportunity Krishna gives us, we should engage in that service. For example, there are so many examples, like so many times Chetan is there, Kavita is there. You know, they are helping me in spreading messages. They are helping me in signing videos, and they're giving some support. Like Jyotika is there. So she was helping me in getting more and more videos for the, you know, this 108 Japa compilation that I'm doing. So this is all service only. So when I asked you to sketch something, or when I asked you to offer bhoga to Krishna, so all that is service to Krishna. Don't think it is just a time pass. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our second week summary, and we can take questions. We have almost 14 minutes still. So you can ask questions and finally watch the recording. And these sessions, these 5 sessions will be very, very precious, and please keep them very safely. You can, you know, keep them in a separate folder. If you know all, you know how to do it. Keep these links very safely, or you can go to YouTube anytime and ask, you know, watch these recordings, because whatever we learned in 3-4 weeks, you can just see it in one session, and this is like the, you know, the juice or the extract or the summary of the entire session. So we can take questions.
Chetan Prabhu here.
Yes.
Jyoti Mataji here. Chetan Prabhu, I think internet issue. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. So Mataji, what she's saying that education helps us, you know, as the human body needs knowledge and education, but spiritual knowledge helps us in a different way. So as a human, you know, college education gives us a job, but spiritual education saves us in this life and in the next life. I'm confused as to which way to go.
Both. See, you need to maintain your body. Suppose you have no other earning member in your family and you want money. How do you get money? How do you maintain your body? You have to go out and work, right? So remember 2 very beautiful sentences. If food is for the body, whatever we eat is for the body, then japa is food for the soul. We eat to maintain our body, right? Similarly, we do japa to maintain our soul. And we need both. As long as our body is there, we need to maintain this body. Because if body is not maintained, then how will you do japa? You won't have strength to do japa if you won't eat. Right? So continue. What we suggest is you continue whatever you are doing. You're going to college, you're going to work, you do whatever. But always remember Krishna. Always think, how can I please Krishna? How can I serve Krishna? Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna.
Nice question.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Chetan Prabhu here. He's talking about I think a friend of his, and this friend's friend.
Okay.
So this friend of his, Chetan's Mahaprabhu, they are engaged in Krishna consciousness. But the other friend he's talking about, I think he has taken a loan. I mean, he has given a loan to Chetan Mahaprabhu's close friend. The 5 lakh loan, 2 lakh has been given, 3 lakh is left. Now this other friend passed away.
Oh.
The one who had given the loan to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the one who had given the loan to Chaitanya Prabhu's friend. So now, since the person is died, the 3 lakh which is left, he is worried what to do with that. He says that, is it okay to give the family?
Yes, please, because
and
you should
same
not.
Time, he is worried that the man died. I couldn't give the money to him. But if he gives his money back to the family and continues with his chanting and all of that, he shouldn't be worried, no?
Definitely, he should not worry, because he's done his duty. Because he should not go back. He should not die before paying back the debt. That would be very nice of him. Even if his friend has died, at least he should not, because dying with a debt means you have to come back in your next birth and pay the debt.
Sorry, Mataji, I didn't understand which.
I said that if you die and you still have a debt, then you carry forward that debt in your next birth.
So he can give the money to the families, right?
Yes, yes, he must.
Okay, Mataji. I asked her sign name so that I don't have to repeatedly spell her name.
I haven't yet replied to her last question. Also, she had a doubt. So just tell her that also. I'm yet to get an update.
Sorry, Mataji, you had asked or she had asked?
No, she had asked about chanting, and I haven't yet got a clarification from my seniors last week's doubt. So I'll get back on that. I too have noted down her question. Any other question she has?
It's the same question, Mataji.
Yes, no, I have written to, seeking a clarification on this doubt. Moment I get it, I'll convey it.
Okay, Mataji, thank you. Hare Krishna, Mataji. My doubt is so Mataji, if I keep on doing different kinds of service, I chant the holy name, and I also, read the holy book Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavat. So is there possibility of me getting free from this circle of life and death?
Yes, definitely. See, karma, we cannot decide about when we'll get free, but you trust Krishna, he will take care. In the 18th chapter, 66 words of Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, chapter, 66 words, Krishna says that you surrender all kind of religions. You give up all religions and surrender to me. I'll remove all your sinful reactions. Last, he says, do not worry. So this is a promise which Krishna himself has given in Bhagavad Gita. What better promise we need? And Krishna is not like a friend nowadays we see in our life. Krishna is actually our best well-wisher and our best friend. So if we surrender to Krishna and we trust Krishna, then Krishna will never cheat us. Krishna will never leave us. Other people might leave us, but he will not leave us.
Understood, Mataji. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Sudarshan Prabhu here. Mataji, so Sudarshan Prabhu's question is that we see so many deaths. Some are born, and as soon as they're born, they die. Some die in 5 years, some die in 15 years. What is the reason for this kind of death? Is it because they have not been able to engage in bhakti or in their previous life? Something?
See, karma actually is a very complicated thing for us to understand. Children who die at such a young age, they have not, of course, they definitely would have done some sin, but beyond that, more than that, their parents who have given, the mother or the father who have given birth to a child, and they've not even seen the child grow beyond 5 or 6 years, to see that child die in front of their eyes, what a big sin they would have committed. You forget on bhakti. Bhakti is very far off. Very fortunate, and very, very fortunate people get bhakti, and that is Krishna bhakti in their life. We are talking about people who don't even probably believe, they would not have even believed in God. We're not talking about this birth, because this birth of karma you will get later. I'm talking about a previous birth, which we have not seen. So if a small child is dying, and what they would have done. So it is all our karmas only. Maybe the child is not done, but the parents would have done to see that suffering. So suffering means we have done some bad karma.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. He understands, he says. Vaishali Mataji here. Anutama Mataji, Danvat Pranam, Hare Krishna. Saurav also, it was a beautiful lecture today. There are two things he wants to ask.
Okay.
I told her, keep it short.
Short.
Yeah. So she says that it's been a long time, Mataji, that we have not spoken or had a lecture about Narasimha Mahadev. It was a long time. So you want the Narasimha Mahadev topic again soon, sometime they want.
Okay, because we just had it on Narasimha Chaturdashi. They can see the recording.
I'm sorry, Mataji, can you, what was
they can see the recording of Narasimha on Narasimha Chaturdashi. We did a special 2-3 episodes we did on Narasimha.
Which month was this, Mataji?
Month, 1 second. Maybe I think it must have been 2 months back. Just see. Yes, it was on 15th of May.
Acha, sorry, Mataji, she's saying, sorry, I could understand. Now I understand. She's saying that how to pray to Lord Narasimha Dev at home.
Oh, okay. So there is a prayer now, but I don't know how to sign that prayer. So there is a prayer. What I'll do is maybe I will try to get it translated in various languages, like how we are doing it for Marathi, Bengali, Tamil, and Hindi, and of course English we have. So I will try to see if I can get it translated in that language, and I will. It's a very short prayer. No, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva is we recite when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, but she's talking about offering prayers to Lord Narasimha Dev. Okay, next question. So I'll work on that.
And the second thing she is asking that, can we read the Bhagavad Gita and the same time chant?
No, chanting cannot be with anything else. No phone, no kitchen work. Chanting means only chanting. If you're reading, then only reading. No mixing together.
No, Mataji, not cooking, not all of that. I'm just saying Bhagavad Gita reading and chanting.
No. Because then your focus would be on reading. Chanting means your focus should be only on chanting. Next question.
Okay,
Next
Hare
question.
Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. He's talking about some Guruji at his place. It's really respected. Says 16 round rule. He says that the everyday 16 round. If some people are busy, have work during the day, and due to that, the 16 rounds are, sometimes becoming 14, some 12. Is that sometimes doing 8, 4 because of the work? How do we work around this, Mataji?
So what do? You maintain a diary and you note down that today I finished this much. So what you do, you carry forward those rounds for the next day. So or another thing is, suppose today I could do only 12 rounds, for example.
So Mataji, you're saying that 18 plus 6, 24 rounds?
Correct. Or also you can, this another easy way I can tell you.
Mataji,
usually we don't.
That's what he's saying, that
no,
maintain that is
difficult. Then you divide those 4 rounds into 4 days. Suppose you are left with 4 balance rounds. So next day you do 17. Again, another round. So, but then you finish that. You understood what I'm saying? You divide those 4 balance round into 4 days. So try not to leave them, but if in case because of some problem you're not able to finish, then
so Mataji says that it has been happening. He has been not able to be doing it, and that's
so
why.
Then you set a goal for yourself, because usually when we have Diksha, after that we cannot compromise on below 16. But if you have not had Diksha, then you have to see how your life is, how challenging it is to complete those 16 rounds, and you take a decision accordingly. But once you had Diksha, then you cannot come down on your rounds. Then 16 is 16.
They're saying that Maharishi Prabhupada used to do only 16, apparently, Mataji, is it? But there are other Maharishis and other.
Yeah. You can do more. You can do more.
60.
64, 32, you can do more. But the kind of life you're living, you are finding it a challenge to do 16. How will you do more than that? Thank you, Hare Krishna. Last question.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Today was a beautiful session. My work timings are, 4:30ish. I have to 5 o'clock. I actually, if I take a bath, it is very difficult for me because I might get sick. So I have to reach by 5ish at my workplace. 1:30 afternoon I come back. 2:30, 1ish, 1:30 I come back, and that time can I do the japa when I come back?
Yes. Why not? How does she travel? Does she travel in bus?
She drives the scooty, mother.
Oh, then because if she goes in bus, she can go do it in bus. Not an issue. She can come back. She can come back and she can do her japa. No problem at all.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Just Saurav, I just want to share a small
Mataji,
screen.
second question. She has a second question, and Mataji, it's already 5:12. I really need to go.
No, nothing. You don't have to do anything. I just speak one sentence and you can exit. I can be here.
So she has a second thing. Can we take that?
Okay. Ask quickly.
Mataji, so she's saying that every time she tries to chant and do the japa, because of a family and she has 2 children, she feels that she gets really distracted, even though she has told her children. It doesn't help. She doesn't find that peace and able to do it. Sometimes, I get angry, but that's not the right way. And it makes her sad that she hasn't been able to do it properly.
So there must be some time when children are busy. That time she should find that time. And start praying to Krishna. And Krishna will make some arrangement. He will arrange, definitely. You try and test it. This is tested by so many people. When we want some problem, we are facing some problem in our life, you request Krishna, your problem will be solved. Okay. So thank you so much. I just want to share a small screen. People who have submitted their, sketches of Jagannath, I want, there are people who are not holding the sketch in their hand. So when I take it to the temple for taking Lord's blessing, I want the format to be like this. So some people have said they are holding the picture in their hand. They are perfectly all right. But there are some people who are not holding the picture in their hand. So request them to please hold the picture in their hand and ask somebody in your family to take your photograph. So I'm just sharing a screen. This is the way I want it to be. So then after that, we'll exit. So I want people who have not shared like this. I want people to share like this, hold the picture in their hand and send it to me. Okay. Because maybe next week I'll be going to the temple and I'll offer it to Lord Jagannath and take blessings. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much. Any questions? If possible, please text. So I found a way that you can type it in your regional language and I'll put in Google Translate and I'll try to understand that question. I've tried that with Vaishali. So please type a question in your regional language and type the question to me. I'll put it on Google Translate and understand. I'll send back the answer to you. Is that okay? So thank you so much. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Saurav.